Hello everyone, ARG back with some more Franchise Hockey Manager 8, and today we are going to be playing as the Kings, still trying to win the Stanley Cup. This is my second attempt at doing this. I tried yesterday night while my girlfriend was away, and we lost power about 30 minutes into the stream, so I lost all the progress that I made. And I didn't make it all that far. I made it further than that. It crashed right, or I lost power right after the Edmonton game. So in my first attempt, I had won the first two games of the month, and then I had lost 3-2 against Edmonton, and then it crashed. No, I didn't crash it on purpose because I lost a hockey game. Of course not. But yeah, that happened again. I tend to have a little bit of bad luck with that kind of stuff. All right, so with that being said, Happy New Year to everybody. I understand you might not be watching that either live or even today, but still, I wish you all a marvelous 2022. Hopefully, everybody can strive and maybe more importantly, remain healthy. All right, so since there's an auto save after the first day of the month, so you didn't lose any content or anything like that. As far as game played goes. But yeah, the news are back on the board here, so that stuff still happened. There was a trade too between Buffalo and Calgary. Now I'm kind of curious to see if it's going to happen again. But anyway. All right, so Mike Stapleton, Dan Vinslet, and David Mackey are on waivers. I'm not picking any of those guys up. All right, so there was no stopping Derek King. He had a hat trick, 3 goals against the Buffalo Sabres. Derek King plays for Montreal in my save. Mark Abscheid suspension ended in Buffalo, back in the lineup over there. Vancouver's Brian Bradley is suspended. He's going to miss 6 games. Greg Adams set everything up tonight. He had 4 assists against the Blues. Right, Bruce McNall is very happy with my work. Randy Wood might be back soon, and Doug Smale has been put on the trading block before he gets picked by the Suns in the expansion draft, I guess. Well, he might not be picked by the Suns. That's what happened in real life. Might not be what happens in my save. So what I maybe have forgotten to say here before I get started is we have a few injuries up front. We're good though. So McGillney is out 2 to 3 weeks. That kind of sucks. He's a 3-star now. Mike Gartner and Randy Wood are good to play, albeit playing hurt, but they're good to play. We're fourth in the conference despite losing only 1 game in the entire month of October. And yeah, we're about to get started for real here. So the first game is on the road here in Toronto against the Leafs. Leafs are 6-7 this season. That's good for sixth in the conference. We have not played the Leafs this season. Let's take a look at their lineup over there. So Dave Reed is hurt. He's not going to be playing this game. And Rob Blake is suspended. Rob Blake, whom I was completely unable to sign because Toronto matched the contract offer that I made to him. That would have been awesome to have Rob Blake with the Kings, as it should probably be. But anyway. All right, so the Leafs in net have John Casey and Steve Weeks. On D, they have Todd Gill, Luke Richardson, Jay Wells, Frederick Stillman, Rob Blake, Joe Cirilla, Dale DeGray, Ali Afrati, and Neil Shee. That's a lot of these. Up front, they have Tom Chorsky, Wendell Clark, Lou Franceschetti, Mark Osborne, Vincent D'Anfous, Tom Fergus, Ed Old, Chuck Keat, Primo, Ross Courtnall, Gary Lehman, Daniel Marwa, and Al Seckerd. All right, so let's play now. On my first attempt yesterday, we won that game, I believe, 6-2. So that would be nice to have that same kind of game here. And of course, Francois Gravel became our starter out of nowhere. So poor Arthur Serbe wins the Vizina, and the next day he's tossed aside. And we are going to be facing Steve Weeks in that one, of course. Go Kings! We need a W here. That's a 4-1 win. Not as impressive as the first attempt, but it's still a W, so we will definitely take it. We outshot Toronto 40-33 in that one. Wayne Gretzky was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Francois Gravel was the second star with 32 saves and the W. And Luc Robitaille was the third star, not third save. I was about to say third save. Third star with 2 assists. Joe Rickey opened up the scoring in the first from Randy Wood and Andrew Castles. Then Ron Duguay scored from Wayne Gretzky and Luc Robitaille. It was 2-0 Kings after one. Couple fights in the first period. Alaya Frate and Adam Burt went at it, and then Neil Sheehy and Joe Rickey. Then in the second period, Wayne Gretzky scored from Luc Robitaille and Rick Green, made it 3-0 Kings. Then Toronto scored, made it 3-1. Then we added one more goal in the third period. Wayne Gretzky scored his 15th on the power play from Mike Gartner and Ray Shepard. That was a 4-1 victory, folks. Alright, so Sean Cronin and David Latta are on waivers. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 13 games. Yeah, with his 2 goals and 1 assist in that game. That was 8 straight games with an assist for him as well. One other thing I forgot to mention, there's no, or there shouldn't be any background music today. I'm listening to background music, but I'm not having it go through here, through the mixer, so I don't think it's going through. It shouldn't. The channel that I usually use for the background music is offline right now. That's the first time I've ever seen that channel offline, so no music today. You get good old ARG style with no sound in the background, as it used to be when I used to just do offline videos. So Doug Wilson keeps fans on their feet all night. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Minnesota. Bernie Nichols extends his point streak to 12 games with an assist against the Islanders. Oh, Randy Cunneyworth is sidelined with a fractured ankle. That did not happen the first time I did that. He's out 4 months. That happened against the Waiters. Randy Cunneyworth here in Pittsburgh, out 4 months. Sylvain Turgeon is suspended. I'm guessing that has to do with that injury we just saw. He's going to miss 3 games. Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 15 games with a goal and an assist against the Sharks. And that was 8 straight games with an assist for him. Alright. And now we have 4 days off, and then we're going to be playing against Vancouver at home. Oh, that also didn't happen the first time. Frederick Olausson is out with a torn ACL. He's going to be out for 5 months. That's going to hurt the Jets. Frederick Olausson is definitely a pretty good defenseman. So that happened against St. Louis. Randy Wood is almost 100%. That's good. Wow, a lot more injuries this time out. That's crazy. Owen Nolan is suspended, playing for the Bruins. He will miss 4 games. Jamie McCown is out for 4 months. A ruptured foot tendon, out 4 months. That happened against New York, the Rangers. So I guess that trade is not going to happen again, because the trade between Buffalo and Calgary that I saw yesterday was Mark Abscheid for Jamie McCown, and there were spare pieces on both ends as well that went with that, but that was the 2 main pieces. So I guess Jamie McCown is not going to get traded now. That's interesting. Injury forces Norm McIver out. So Norm McIver out with a fractured knee for 5 months. Wow. And Rob Blake is back from his suspension in Toronto. Alright, couple more days off here before we play the Canucks. Jeff Chikrin is on waivers. Jim Johnson is back from suspension in Minnesota. And Thomas Steen has achieved 600 points in his career with an assist against Vancouver. Thomas Steen is 31 and he is a 3.5 star player. All right, one more day off, and then we play the Canucks. McGillney is ready to return to practice. That's good. And Randy Wood is 100% recovered. All right, we are hosting the Canucks. Canucks are 3-10-3. That's good for dead last in the conference, where they have been for most of this playthrough. So another tough season in Vancouver for the Canucks. We have not played them this season. Let's take a look here, see what's going on. All right, so Thomas Janssen is hurt. He's not going to be playing this game. Jaromir Jagr is also hurt and not going to be playing. Jim Sandlak is hurt. He may or may not play. And then Brian Bradley is suspended, not going to play this game. So in net, the Canucks have Kirk McLean and Frank Pietrangelo. On D, they have Giles, McGill, Siren Zettler, Gord Donnelly, and Doug Lidster. Doug Lidster is okay, but the rest of that D is, that's rough. Greg Adams, Shell Daleen, Mike Hartman, Rob Zamuner, Bradley, Erdina Lapointe, Lyndon Modano, Peterson, Sandlak, Skriko, Sutter, and Tenty and Jagr, but Jagr is not playing. Alright, so I guess we don't get to face Jaromir Jagr in this game. Now let's see if we can beat the Canucks. We did yesterday in my attempt. So let's see if we can do it now. Frank Pietrangelo is going to be in net for the Canucks. François Gravel back in net for us. Go Kings! And we lost 4-3 in overtime. I see. Let me see if I can trigger another power outage here. I'm going to kick the power strip there. Alright, so we outshot Vancouver 46-25. Mike Modano was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Ray Shepherd was the second star with 2 assists as well. And Tony Tenty was the third star with 2 assists as well. Sellout crowd here in Inglewood for the Kings. Canucks scored first in the first period, then Mike Ridley scored his 5th from Mike Gartner and Scott Arneal. It was tied at 1-1. Then in the second period, Wayne Gretzky scored from Ray Shepherd and Joe Rickey. Then the Canucks tied, and then we scored again. Luc Robitaille from Ray Shepherd and Gary Galley. It was 3-2 Kings after 2. Then in the third period, the Canucks tied the game. It was tied at 3 for the entirety of the period almost. Randy Ladouceur and Gord Donnelly got into a fight, and then Trevor Linden was the hero in overtime for Vancouver with the game winner. We lost 4-3 in overtime against the Canucks. Alright, so Nevin Marquardt is on waivers. So is Mark Janssens, and so is Dale DeGray. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 14 games with a goal, but his assist streak ended at 8 games because he only scored a goal. Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 16 games with a goal against Chicago, and his assist streak also ended at 8 games because he only got that goal. Mike Gartner close to returning, so that's good. He's playing Earth right now. Right, we have a day off, and then we're going to be hosting the Edmonton Orders. Stéphane Richer has a good game. He had a hat-trick against the Devils. Patelenok's suspensions ends. He is back in the lineup with the Jets. Bernie Nichols extends his point streak to 13 games with a goal and an assist against Detroit. Mike Gartner is champing at the bit, which means that he is fully recovered. Awesome. And Brad McCrimmon has been put on the trading block with the Flames. Flames being bold here with the injury to Jamie McCown, and they're still trying to move another defenseman there. Alright, so we're hosting the Oilers. So yesterday I lost 3-2 and then I lost power. So after that game, that means you are done hearing about yesterday. I'm going to be not able to be babbling about that. So Edmonton is 11-4-2. That's good for first in the conference. And we played twice against the Orders this season, and both times it was a 4-4 tie. As you may remember, both games happened in October and the last time out. So let's see if we can have a winner this time. Hopefully the winner is going to be us, obviously. So Grant Fiore is going to be in net for Edmonton. We're going to go back to François Gravel. Go Kings! Come on. Another 4-4 tie against the Orders. This is crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that in any iteration of franchise hockey. I don't think I've ever seen that at all. 4-4 ties each time. Alright, so still no winner between the two of us. We did outshoot Edmonton 39-29, so I kind of wish we had won this game. Andrew Castles was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Esa Tikkanen was the second star with an assist, and Mike Gartner was the third star with an assist as well. Another sellout crowd in Inglewood. Edmonton scored first in the first period, then Wayne Gretzky scored from Randy Ladouceur and Andrew Castles, then Edmonton scored twice. It was 3-1 Edmonton after one. Didn't look too good for the Kings at that point. Then in the second period, Andrew Castles scored from Ron Duguay and Brian Glynn. It was 3-2 Edmonton. Edmonton scored, made it 4-2. Which means that we showed some character in the third and came back to tie the game. Mike Ridley scored from Mike Gartner and Gary Galley, and then Luke Robitaille scored his 10th on the power play that was unassisted, tied the game at 4. Of course, nobody scored in overtime, but we did get 2 fights. Randy Ladouceur fought Don Biggs, and Gerald Dedock fought Mick Vukota. Alright. Oh, Ray Shepard is hurt, but his name is still in white, so we're good. Alright, what do we have here? Okay, Ray Shepard with a lacerated chin. The league is watching. Oh, he has a cut on his chin. Let's keep an eye on this. That's big news. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 15 games with a goal against the Orders. Gary Nylund in New Jersey is suspended. He's going to miss 9 games. Wow. And Mark Tinordi will miss 4 months with the Whalers. A fractured ankle. A lot of important injuries, long-term injuries, not always necessarily to like star players, although pretty much always to at least decent players, but yeah, that's crazy. All right, we have a day off, and then we're going to be in Winnipeg to play against the Jets. Suspension over for Sylvain Turgeon with the Whalers back in the lineup over there. Bernie Nichols extends his point streak to 14 games. He had an assist against the Nordiques. Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 17 games. He had a goal and an assist in that same game. All right, in Winnipeg to play the Jets. Jets are 6-5. That's good for 6th in the conference. We are 0-1-1 against the Jets. We have not been able to beat them this season so far, so hopefully that changes now. All right. François Gravel back in net for us. Curtis Joseph Cujo back in net for the Jets, of course. Go Kings, go. Come on, give me a W here. 5-0 win for the Kings. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, we outshot the Jets 54-19. Mike Gartner was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Wayne Gretzky was the second star with a goal and 2 assists, and Luke Robitaille was the third star with a goal and an assist. Alright, so Gretzky opened up the scoring in the first from Gary Galley and Luke Robitaille. Then Mike Gartner scored on the power play that was unassisted. Made it 2-0. Then Alexei Gusarov scored from Mike Ridley and Mike Gartner. It was 3-0 Kings after 1. There was a fight in the first period as well. Larry Boschman fought Gerald Deduck. Then in the second period, Luke Robitaille scored from Wayne Gretzky and Gary Galley, made it 4-0. And then we added one more goal in the third period. Mike Gartner from Wayne Gretzky and Alexei Gusarov. 5-0 the score. Oh, Scott Arniel got hurt. That's not good. I don't have a whole lot of depth up front. He's day to day. We might be good. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 16 games with a goal and 2 assists. Bernie Nichols extends his point streak to 15 games with an assist against Montreal. And Thomas Sandstrom set everything up tonight. He had 4 assists against the Pittsburgh Penguins. All right, let's take a look at that here. All right, we're good. I don't need to put him on injured reserve or anything. Shoulder soreness. Get out there and play, man. All right, we are now playing against the Canucks again. They are now 4-11-3 because, of course, they beat us earlier here. The Canucks are not dead last in the conference now. The Sharks are now the last. They are 10th. And we are, of course, 0-1 against them. It says 0-1, but that is incorrect. It is 0-1. So let's play the Canucks, and this time, hopefully, we win. François Gravel still in net for us. Kirk McLean this time in net for the Canucks, despite Pietrangelo beating us last time. Go Kings! Woo! 8-5 win, so screw defense, right? Why play defense when you can just go fill the net and see who fills the net the most at the end of the game? We outshot Vancouver 54-36. Wayne Gretzky was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and 2 assists. Mike Gartner was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Mike Ridley was the third star with a goal and an assist. Canucks took a 2-0 lead into the first period. Then Mike Ridley scored unassisted. Then the Canucks scored again. And then Mike Gartner scored from Luke Robitaille and Wayne Gretzky. And then Gary Volk scored from Alexei Gusarov and Mike Ridley. It was tied at 3 after 1. Then in the second period, we took our first lead of the game. Wayne Gretzky scored from Joe Rickey and Luke Robitaille. But then the Canucks tied the game. It was tied at 4 after 2. Then we opened the machine a little bit in the third period. Mike Gartner scored unassisted, gave us the lead again. Then Gary Galley from Dan Gratton and Gerald Deduck. And then Wayne Gretzky scored his 20th from Mike Gartner and Joe Rickey. It was 7-4 at that point. The Canucks added a goal, but what is that? 8 seconds later... Yeah, 8 seconds later, Luke Robitaille scored from Gerald Deduck and Wayne Gretzky, made it 8-5. That was pretty much it. Oh, Wayne Gretzky got a boarding major. That's not good. Hopefully he's not suspended. And then Doug Lidster and Randy Ladouceur both got into a fight as well. All right. Wayne Gretzky is suspended for boarding. He's going to miss 3 games. Yikes. All right, despite that, Wayne Gretzky extended his goal streak to 5 games with 2 goals and 2 assists, and that was 17 straight games with a point for him. Robert Lang improves at right wing. I want for him to improve at center, but okay. All right, and then, yeah, we're going to need to figure out what we're going to do here. All right, memorable game for Doug Gilmour. He had 4 assists against the Red Wings. Suspension over for Joey Kosher with the Red Wings back in the lineup. Good game for Ron Francis with the Whalers. He had 4 goals against the Nordiques. Joe Sakic extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal in that same game. And that was 18 straight games with a point for him. Ray Shepherd is completely recovered. All right, Bernie Nichols extends his point streak to 16 games with a goal against the Rangers. And a great night for Thomas Sandstrom in that same game. He had a hat trick. Alright, so now I need to figure out what I want to do here. Gretzky cannot play. And now Scott Arneal's injury is getting in the way. Guess I don't really have a choice. I'm gonna need to put Scott Arneal on. I don't want to do that though. Guess I'm gonna need to. Alright, let's put him on the injured list and we're gonna recall. I have what, like 2 forwards left to choose from. I need some more depth on. Oops. I need some more depth here on that forward. Guess I'm gonna get this guy up. Gernander. See if he's gonna do anything. Alright, Gernander, you're coming in. You have to replace Wayne Gretzky. Come on. Alright, so it might be a little bit tough. So the next 3 games are against the Sabres, the Red Wings, and the Sharks. So I'm gonna need to do without Wayne Gretzky for those. Thankfully, my centers are pretty good. I have Mike Ridley, I have Andrew Castles, and I have Robert Reichel. So none of them is going to replace Gretzky, but by committee, we should be able to kind of play all right. All right, so Buffalo is in town. Buffalo is 6-7-3 this season. We have not played them. Let's take a look at them. So Benoit Hugg is hurt. He's not going to be playing this game. No, the players that will be playing, Tom Barrasso and Olaf Kolzig in net. That should be pretty set in stone for a while. Phil Housley, Callie Johansson, Mike Ramsey, Rich... I think it's like Jean-Guy Guichard or something like that. Anderson, Ilyer, Uwe Krupp, and Mario Marois on D. Up front, they have Dave Andreychuk, Lindy Ruff, Mikael Anderson, Carpenter, Creighton, Rutu, Tucker, Pierre Turgeon, Foligno, Abscheid, Shellberg, Priestley, and Dave Taylor. All right. First game without Gretzky. Let's see how we do. I don't have a whole lot of hope for my 4th line. Alright. Olaf Kozig is going to be in net for Buffalo. Artur Serbe is going to be in net for us. Go Kings! Come on. Oh yeah, we won 7-4. Even without Wayne Gretzky. It is a victory. 7-4 win here at home. We were outshot in that one 37-25, so we can say thank you to Artus Airby for that one. Ray Shepard was the... Oh, no. Hey, Kim, he's suspended for 3 games. He boarded somebody in the previous game, so he's out 3 games with a suspension. I think Artus Airby got hurt. That's not good. Because François Gravel is the 2nd star and Irby was my starter and Gravel has 32 saves. So something happened there. Unless he was pulled. Oh, maybe he was pulled super early. Yeah, if Gretzky got that, he probably, yeah. Oh, okay, so Irby either got pulled or hurt. And then Robert Reichel was the 3rd star with 2 assists. So another sellout crowd in Inglewood. Buffalo scored 3 goals in 3 minutes and 14 seconds. That might be why Irby didn't finish the game. Then we tied the game before the end of the first. Gary Galley from Ron Duguay and Robert Reichel. Then Andrew Castle scored his fifth on the power play from Mike Gartner. And then Randy Wood from Ray Shepard and Robert Reichel. It was tied at 3 after 1. There was a fight between Joe Rickey and Lindy Ruff. Then in the second period, Luke Robitaille scored unassisted. Then Ray Shepard scored on the power play unassisted as well, 5-3 after 2. Randy Wood and Adam Creighton got into a fight as well. Then in the third period, Buffalo scored. It was 5-4 Kings at that point, and then Luke Robitaille scored in an empty net from Mike Ridley and Joel Deduck, and then Rick Green in an empty net as well, with 1 second left to go in the game, from Dan Grattan and Brian Glenn. It was a 7-4 victory. Uh-oh, Gary Volk is hurt. That's not good. I'm starting to run out of spares. In not too long here, I'm going to need to have defensemen playing forward. Alright, Luke Robitaille extends his goal streak to 5 games with 2 goals in the game against Buffalo. Michel Goulet has recorded 500 goals in his career with a goal against Boston. Michel Goulet is 31 years old and he is still a 3.5-star player. Joe Sakic extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal and an assist in that same game. That was 19 straight games with a point for him. Owen Nolan's suspension ended back in the lineup in Boston. So is Brian Bradley in Vancouver. Bobby Smith played in his 1000th game in his career with an assist against Hartford. Bobby Smith is 33 years old and he is still a 1.5-star player. And Peter Klima extended his goal streak to 5 games with a goal against the Sharks. Bernie Nichols extends his point streak to 17 games with an assist against Pittsburgh. And the Flames want to trade Joe Mullen. So the Flames are trying to be active. They also put Brad McCrimmon on the block just a few days ago. All right. Yeah. We might need to have a forward playing the next game. A defenseman playing forward for the next game. I'm running out of forwards here. Yeah, I need more forwards. That's I'm gonna get some after this season just by signing some rookies that I have. But yeah. Right now we are a little short in the... Whoa. We are a little short right now in the forward department. Yeah, we'll play with the defense at forward. I don't really have a choice. Alright, so we are hosting the Red Wings. They are 8-7-5. They are second in the conference. That means that they are first in their division. We are 1-0 against the Red Wings. We beat them 8-4 earlier this season. It was in Detroit at the Joe Louis Arena. You can't just put a... Okay. I would have to go and manually change the... I don't want to do that, so... There you go. To the injury list you go. And I'm going to recall my last forward that I have available, which is Alex X. Welcome to the NHL, son. Now go out there and try to not suck too much. Yeah, Irby is fine. He just got pulled dirty after all. So that's what happened. Alright, let's play this game. Oh my, I'm looking at Alex X playing on my third line with a 5 in his role, and I'm like, I'm probably not winning this game. Alright, so Tim Chivold is going to be in net for the Wings. Artis Airby is in net for us. So we're giving him another shot here, apparently, after that he sucked against Buffalo. Go Kings! We kind of need some luck here. Oh, a 6-3 win. Oof, I don't know how we're pulling it off, but yeah. So 6-3 victory over the Wings with a depleted lineup. Oh, we also outshot them 37-21. That's pretty good. Luke Robitaille carried the load. He was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and 2 assists. Ray Shepard was the second star with a goal and 2 assists. And Robert Reichel was the third star with 2 goals. Another sellout crowd here in Inglewood. Luke Robitaille opened up the scoring in the first. That was his 15th of the season from Gary Galley and Mike Gartner. Then Luke Robitaille again, this time on the power play from Ray Shepard and Andrew Castles. And then Robert Reichel scored his 5th from Alex X and Ron Duguay. 3-0 Kings after one. Alex X is officially a point per game at this point. Point per game players don't run in the street too much. All right, 3-0 after one. Then in the second period, Detroit scored. It was 3-1. Then Robert Reichel scored from Ray Shepard and Luke Robitaille. It was 4-1 Kings after 2. There was a fight between Randy Ladouceur and Chris King. Then in the third period, Ray Shepard scored from Luke Robitaille and Mike Ridley. Then the Red Wings scored. It was 5-2. And then Ron Duguay scored from Gary Galley and Alex... Oh, God, Alex X is a 2-point-per-game player. That's like Gretzky territory there. And then the Red Wings scored again. It was 6-3 Kings, and that was the final score today. And by the way, Kim, Happy New Year. Luke Robitaille extends his goal streak to 6 games with his 2 goals and 2 assists performance. Red light stays on for Ray Ferraro. He had a hat-trick against the Bruins. Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 20 games with 2 assists against the Oilers. Joe Sakic is on a roll there. And a good night for Brett Hull, who had 3 goals and 2 assists against Minnesota. Pretty good game indeed. Now we have 2 days off, and then we're going to be playing in San Jose against the Sharks, and that's going to be the last game without Gretzky. If I can get some other bodies back in the lineup, that would also be pretty cool. There was no stopping Brett Hull again. Jeez, he just had a 3 goals and 2 assists games, and now he had a hat-trick against the Blackhawks. Not too bad. 6 goals and 2 assists in 2 games for Brett Hull. That's indeed pretty good. All right, Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 21 games with a goal and 3 assists against Pittsburgh. Scott Arniel is ready for team practice. That's good. And Gary Valk as well. I had to put them on the injured reserve, though. What does it say here? Yeah, Arniel, 6 more days. Alright, we are in San Jose to play against the Sharks. That's the last game without Wayne. San Jose is 10th in the conference. They are 5-14-2. And we are 1-0 against the Sharks this season. Francois Gravel back in net for us. Glenn Ely, former King, in net for the Sharks. Go Kings! And it's a 3-3 tie. I guess I'll take it given our circumstances. We outshot the Sharks 30-27. Colasar was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Mike Gartner was the second star of the game with 2 goals and an assist. And Ron Sutter was the third star with an assist. Nobody scored in the first. Then in the second period, the Sharks scored 3 times in a row. And then Mike Gartner scored on a power play from Andrew Castles. And then Mike Gartner again on the power play again from Andrew Castles and Ray Shepard. It was 3-2 Sharks after 2. Then in the third period, Joe Rickey tied the game from Mike Gartner and Mike Ridley. Then this went to overtime. Obviously, nobody scored. And we have a tie, a 3-3 tie today. Mike Donnelly extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal against the Kings. Mike Gartner extends his assist streak to 8 games with an assist in that game. Robert Lang continues to improve at left wing. And suspension over for Wayne Gretzky. Yay! I can send down a player. Or maybe not. I'm going to wait for the injured players to come back. Right, a couple days off, and then we're going to be playing at home against the Rangers. Dino Ciccarelli keeps fans on their feet all night. He had 4 goals against the Islanders. Passes on point for Dave Gagne in Minnesota. In that same game, he had 4 assists. Scott Arniel is getting better. Alexander Mogilny is getting better. Now that's one that I'm excited to get back in the lineup. And then Gary Volk is also starting to feel better. 1 more day off. Bernie Nichols extends his point streak to 18 games with a goal against the Devils. Mogilny yet again feeling a little bit better. Alright, Rangers are in town. They are 11-8-3 this season, so that's a pretty decent record. We are 1-0 against the Rangers this season. It was a 6-4 win at Madison Square Garden. Thankfully, we get Gretzky back in the lineup. Right, John Van Beesbrook is going to be in net for the Rangers, and François Gravel is going to be in net for the Kings. Go Kings! That's another W, 5-3 win over the Rangers. Doing pretty good. We were outshot 42-37 in that one, too. Luc Robitaille was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Brian Leach was the second star with a goal and 2 assists, and Mike Gartner was the third star with a goal and an assist. Sellout crowd at Inglewood again. Mike Ridley opened up the scoring in the first from Ray Shepard and Randy Ladouceur, 1-0 Kings. Then Wayne Gretzky scored on the power play from Mike Gartner and Luc Robitaille, 2-0 Kings. And then the Rangers scored before the end of the period. It was a 2-1 lead for the Kings after 1. There was a fight between Gerald Deduck and Jeff Bukeboom in the first period as well. Then in the second, Mike Gartner scored from Wayne Gretzky and Luc Robitaille, made it 3-1 Kings. And then in the third period, Gary Galley made it 4-1 from Andrew Castles and Gerald Deduck. Then the Rangers came to within 1 with 2 goals. It was 4-3 Kings. And then Robert Reichel scored from Robert Lang and Randy Ladouceur. It was a 5-3 victory for the Kings. Mike Gartner extends his assist streak to 9 games with a goal and an assist in that game. Then Wayne Gretzky extended his goal streak to 6 games with a goal and an assist. And that was 18 straight games with a point for Wayne. Al McInnes extended his assist streak to 8 games. He had an assist against Vancouver. Joe Sakic had a big game. He had a hat-trick against Montreal. And that was 22 straight games with a point for him. Scott Arniel is about to come back. Alexander Mogilny is about to come back. Gary Volk, I think, is back. I cannot get them into. Yeah, I have to wait. Alright, 1 day off. Oh, Mogilny is completely recovered. Now that's fun. Oh, not fun for Red Wings fans. Steve Yzerman is hurt and he's out for 4 months with a torn hip labrum. That's gonna hurt the Red Wings. Their best player is out for 4 months. Memorable game for Pat Verbeek. He had a hat trick against the Waiters. Al McInnes extends his assist streak to 9 games with an assist against the Canucks again. Bernie Nichols' point streak ended at 18 games. It was held scoreless against the Bruins. Alexander McGillney's completely recovered. And Mark Johnson in New Jersey has been put on the trading block. Alright, let's take care. We're going to send Gernander down since he's not playing anyway. And we're going to get our friend Alexander McGillney back in the lineup. There you go. Scott Arniel comes back in 2 days if he's ready. All right, Sharks are in town. Sharks are now 5-14-4. We just tied against them. They are 10th in the conference. Looks like them and the Canucks keep flip-flopping with the last position there. Oh, the Moose, Johan Edberg is going to be in net for San Jose. François Gravel is going to be in net for us. Go Kings. Ooh. That hurts. We lost 5-2 against the Sharks, the expansion team that is not very good. So the Sharks are giving us problems. That's not good. We got robbed by Edberg in that one. We outshot the Sharks 45-27. Ron Sutter was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Jay Caulfield was the second star with 2 assists, and Johan Edberg was the third star with 43 saves. Set out crowd that was very disappointed, I'm sure. The Sharks scored first in the first, then we scored twice. Randy Wood scored his 5th from Mike Ridley and Rick Green, then Mike Ridley from Luc Robitaille and Ray Shepard. 2-1 Kings after 1. Nobody scored in the second period. We had a fight between Rick Green and Lucien de Blois. And then in the third period, the wheels fell off the wagon. We allowed 4 unanswered goals, and we lost 5-2. There was a fight between Andrew Castles and Gart Butcher as well in the third period. Yeah, that's not a good game. All right, Mike Gartner's assist streak ended at 9 games, and with that game, they didn't get a point against the Sharks. Gretzky's point streak ended at 18 games, also didn't get a point. Memorable game for Mark Messier. He had a hat trick against the Jets. Scott Mellenby is out for 4 months with a fractured elbow. So Scott Mellenby playing for Washington, out 4 months. Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 23 games. He had a goal and an assist against the Montreal Canadiens. And Brett Hull extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and an assist against the Rangers. All right, there's 3 games left in November. Hopefully we can win some. Scott Arniel is completely recovered. All right. There we go. Akan Lube is suspended with the Flames. He's going to miss 1 game. Great night for Al McInnes. He had a goal and 4 assists against the Jets in that same game, and that's pretty good. That was 10 straight games with an assist for him. Strong game for Claude Lemieux with Montreal. He had a hat trick against the Bruins. And Joe Sakic extended his point streak to 24 games with a goal and an assist against the Hartford Whalers. All right, Toronto is in town. They are 8-14-2. That's good for 9th in the conference. We are 1-0 against the Leafs. The first game of today was against them, and it was a 4-1 victory. Let's see if we can beat them. We have almost a full lineup. John Casey is going to be in net for Toronto. We're going back to François Gravel. Of course, go Kings! And it's another tie, 6-6 tie. We already have 9 ties, and the second month of the season is not even done yet. So another tie this season, so it's 6-6. We were outshot 48-42 in that one. Wayne Gretzky was the first star of the game. He had a hat trick, 3 goals. Gary Lehman was the second star with 2 goals and 2 assists, and Ray Shepherd was the third star with a goal and 2 assists. Sellout crowd in Inglewood yet again. Toronto scored first in the first period, then Luc Robitaille scored from Mike Gartner and Brian Glynn, then Toronto scored again. It was 2-1 Toronto after 1. Then in the second period, Wayne Gretzky scored on the power play from Ray Shepherd and Luc Robitaille, made it 2-2. Then Toronto scored, they had the lead again, 3-2. Wayne Gretzky tied the game with a power play goal from Mike Gartner and Ray Shepherd. Then Toronto took the lead yet again, and then Ray Shepherd tied the game from Mike Ridley and Gary Galley. Then Wayne Gretzky completed his hat trick from Mike Gartner and Luc Robitaille. It was 5-4 Kings after 2. Then in the third period, the Leafs scored twice. They were leading 6-5, and then Scott Arniel tied the game from Alexander McGillney and Brian Glynn. 6-6. That went to overtime. Of course, nobody scored. 6-6 tie. A night to remember for Wayne Gretzky. He had a hat trick. And Marty McSorley in San Jose is suspended. He's going to miss 1 game. Alright, how long till like 1 day, and I can get, so now I can get Gary Volk back in. Joe Sakic extended his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and an assist against Buffalo. That is 25 straight games with a point for Sakic. What a role for one of my favorite players of all time. Doug Wilson played in his 1000th game in his career. That was against the Oilers. Doug Wilson is 34 and he's a 2-star player. So red light stays on for Dirk Graham. In that same game, he had a hat trick. And no one could stop Darren Turcotte with the Rangers. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Jets. Alright, we get Gary Volk back. That means that Robert Lang goes back down. Alright, 2 games left. That one here is going to be in Calgary against the Flames. Flames are 15-4-4. They're first in the conference, so they are really strong yet again. We are 0-1 against Calgary. It was a 4-4 tie against the Flames earlier this season. Hopefully we can beat them this time. François Gravel in net for us. Mike Vernon in net for the Flames. Go Kings. Give me a W. We lost 6-5. Tight game, but we didn't come on top. We did outshot them 41-31. Perry Berezan was the first star of the game. He had 3 assists. Ray Shepherd was the second star of the game with 3 assists as well. And Paul Ranheim was the third star with 2 assists. Gary Galley opened up the scoring in the first. That was his 10th of the season on the power play from Mike Gartner and Ray Shepherd. Then the Flames tied the game. It was tied at 1. Then Luc Robitaille scored on the power play unassisted and then scored again from Ray Shepherd and Wayne Gretzky. It was 3-1 Kings after 1. Then in the second period, the Flames scored. Then Mike Gartner scored on the power play from Wayne Gretzky and Gerald Dedock. Made it 4-2 Kings. Then the Flames scored again. It was 4-3 Kings after 2. Then in the third period, the Flames scored twice. They were up 5-4. Mike Ridley scored his 10th and tied the game from Ray Shepherd and Robert Reichel. But less than 2 minutes later, the Flames scored, made it 6-5, and that stuck. And that's how we lost, 6-5. Al McInnes extends his point streak to 12 games with a goal and an assist against us, and that was 11 straight games with an assist for him. Suspension is over for Akan Lube, back in the lineup. Michel Goulet has produced 500 assists in his career with an assist against the St. Louis Blues. 31-year-old Michel Goulet is still a 3-star player. Brett Hull extends his goal streak to 6 games. In that same game, he had a goal and 2 assists. Joe Sakic extended his goal streak to 6 games with a goal, and that was 26 straight games with a point for him. Pretty good player there. No further punishment for Christian Ruutu with the Buffalo Sabres, not suspended. Prolific passing night for Brian Leach. He had 4 assists against the Sabres in that same game. Marty McSorley is back from suspension in San Jose. Injury forces Dave Manson out. He is out for 6 months with a ruptured UCL. Wow. Oh, Brian Bradley has been put on the block by the Canucks. Alright, we are slated to play at home against the Devils for the last game of November. The Devils are 7-13-4, and we are 1-0 against them this season. It was a 7-3 win in New Jersey. Alright, let's see if we can win this one. End the month on a good note. Chris Terreri is going to be in net for the Devils. François Gravel is going to be in net for us. Go Kings! Ugh, we lost 5-0. That's terrible. Right, we were outshot 33-28. Chris Terreri was the first star of the game. He had the W and the shutout. Bruce Driver was the second star with 3 assists, and Tom Curvers was the third star with a goal and an assist. Sellout crowd in LA. Not a whole lot to talk about in that one since we didn't score. And there wasn't even a fight, so not really anything to talk about. Oh, Gary Galley got hurt, though. My best defenseman is out, hopefully not for too long. 1 to 2 weeks. He's day to day. With a bruised collarbone, they say 9 days, so I think I'm gonna leave him on the lineup. I have 2 spare defensemen. Al McInnes extends his point streak to 13 games. He had 2 assists against the Sharks, and that was 12 straight games with an assist for him. Joe Mullen had a big game for the Flames. 5 assists. Wow. Tim Kerr is not suspended with the Islanders. Memorable game for Mario Lemieux. He had a hat-trick against the Flyers. Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 27 games with 2 assists against the Buffalo Sabres. Brett Hull extends his goal streak to 7 games with 2 goals against the Wings. Alright, the most sold jerseys for the Kings in November: Gretzky, Gartner, Robitaille, Irbe, and Alexander Mogilny. And in the NHL, Wayne Gretzky is 4th, and Mike Gartner is 15th. And the players of the month were Brett Hull and Patrick Roy. Brett Hull supplanted Joe Sakic, who's on a tier, so yeah. Alright, so we faltered a little bit in the end here. We're not rolling on all cylinders. We have a lot of ties too. So all in all, we're 4th in the conference with a 12-5-9 record. We're 5 points back on the Flames, and the Flames have a game on, so we have our work cut out for us. We're going to need to figure this out. Thing is that I need help pretty much at every position except center and right wing. So I need help on D, I need help on left wing. I wouldn't mind getting a better goaltender, so I have holes. This challenge is hard. Having the ARG thing added to me makes it a lot harder to set up my lineup the way that I would like, which I'm not complaining. That makes it a little bit harder. That's fun. But yeah, I can guarantee you that if I wouldn't have that restriction, my D would be a lot better than that. That's usually what I build first. So yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look in the standings. We're gonna take a look by let's look by division. For that era, it makes more sense. All right, so as we stand, Buffalo, Philadelphia, and New York Islanders are out of a playoff spot. And so are Toronto, San Jose, and Vancouver. Nordiques with a really good season so far, 16-9. Okay. Now let's look at some stats here. Right, so Gretzky is first with 52 points in 23 games. That's almost 2 points per game. Luke Robitaille is 47 in 26. Mike Gartner is 41 in 26. Shepard 31 in 26. And then Gary Galley 24 in 26. And then it just goes down from there. So yeah, it looks like we're not having as great an offense as we used to. I mean, just by the sheer amount of players that are above a point per game. But we'll see what happens with that. Alexander McGillney is a little bit underwhelming so far. He has 6 points in 14 games. That's definitely not the Alexander McGillney that I am hoping for. Now let's take a look in the entire league. Wayne Gretzky is the best goal scorer with 24 goals. That's 3 more than Hakan Lube, who's second. Joe Sakic is the best passer with 30 assists. And then Wayne Gretzky, 52 points, is first. That's 4 more than Joe Sakic, but then again, Gretzky missed 3 games. Goalie leaders, I'm not sure I'm going to see any of my guys in there. I mean, Gravel has 10 wins. But save percentage, yeah, we're not there. Goals, save against average, we're not there either. So, yeah. I could get better. I could get better goaltending. That wouldn't piss me off or anything. Alright, I'm saving the game. I'm gonna go ahead and stop here for now. It is time for my midday nap, so that's what I'm going to go and do. So as usual, I would like to thank you for tuning in, and if you're watching this on YouTube later and you've liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you folks next time. Thank you.